Hey YouTube, it's Lewis with Rosebuds Travels. Good morning, and Katie has me doing another mod to our 2019 Spirit Deluxe. This is a space between the tables. I've already put a cleat on the floor, and I'll explain what I'm doing. What we have in the 2019 and the new version of the 2019, they put a plug and a 12 volt thing mounted on the right hand bench. We're gonna take a long trip this summer, and Katie wants another outlet and another 12 volt thing over here. And then we had a slant board there that comes with the trailer, and what I'm doing is I've taken the slant board off, cut it down a bit, and then made a platform like a shelf that's gonna go there instead. And what that would allow us to do is phones or whatever that we plug in underneath here can just rest on top of that shelf, and the board that was the slant board is a little bit wider, it's a little bit taller, so it creates a lip, a front lip, so the stuff can't come out into the aisle, come out this way. So the way to approach this is this 110 wire basically goes into this outlet, and then another piece goes out of the outlet and then goes around through all the way back to the back of the trailer there. So what makes sense in this scenario is not to splice anything in here. What makes sense is to put a box in here and then put a new section of wire from this outlet to this outlet, and then continue the circuit onward. So that's what I'm going to do. This 12 volt deal is tapped into the main wiring harness here. So what I'm going to do is do some exploration and see which wires they tapped into to run this 12 volt. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to tap into those 12 volt lines, and I'm going to use posi taps. Those are the easiest connector to use in this case, where you're just trying to not interrupt the line, but you just tap into it. And so I'm going to posi tap into the two wires there and hook up my 12 volt thing over here. And that's what I'm going to do. So basically that's how you do it. And so now I just need to get started doing it, and I'll try to update you kind of as I'm going along. But that's the project for today, and it will allow us to have, Katie has picked out a USB thing that has several different types of USBs, and so we're going to have every type. We'll have a USB 3, we'll have the C, and we'll have two regular ones also. She bought, this thing comes with a cigarette lighter, and in this particular brand you can buy these items separately, and you can put them into this frame, and then so you can make it have more USB devices. So that's what we're doing. Okie dokie. I'm gonna get started, and I'll try to update you, like I said, as I go along. So the way they hooked up this 12 volt deal is they tapped the white wire into this white wire in the main bundle of wires coming from the front, and this red wire is the power wire and it looks like it runs all the way back to the inverter. So what we'll do is tap into it over here. I think I'll just use the same one. We'll tap into it, and we'll tap into the white wire, and we'll have a hot and a positive and negative. And then we'll be able to hook that all up. I'm gonna turn off the electricity so I can pull the wires, the 110 wire, out of that plug and run it over to the plug over there. So that's my next step. Okay, I've put this together, hooked up the wires that came with it. I soldered these connections with a connector that has solder, and then I've stripped the ends, the other ends. So now it's ready to see. We'll tap into the power wires we got and make sure that it works. So that's sort of the next step. I just wanted to show you how I hooked it all up. I hooked it up ahead of time on the bench. It's a little bit easier. So I'll check in a bit. Okay, I posi tapped into the red wire. You basically slip the wire through the connector, screw it on, and it pokes a hole in the wire, and then you strip the wire about 3/8 and then put it in the top and then screw that in. So I've got it in the hot wire and I've got it in a ground wire, and the charger's working. It's got little buttons that turn it off and on. And this is a C, and it is charging my phone, which is down here. It's working just fine. So these posi taps, they can be taken off and reused. They're the best kind of connector to tap into. So the way they work is this part has a slot, and you slip it on the wire, and then the other end of the posi tap has this pin, and it goes into the wire. So when you screw it down on there, it pokes a hole in the wire, and then it's got a connector in the top. When you unscrew the top part, well, the top part's off this one. It unscrewed, it's in the box, but it's a little cap, and it's that little cap right there, and then it holds it in place. And so there we go, it's all working. So now I need to turn off the electricity so I can disconnect this outlet, and then I'm going to rerun the wire to that, and then we'll have 110 and 12 volt. I'll check back in. Okay, YouTube, I got the 12 volt in, I got the 110 in. I ran the wire like I told you. I ran a brand new wire all the way from that plug to that plug, and then the circuit continues beyond there. And I pop riveted the this to the fiberglass, and we're all set. So now I just need to set my little shelf that goes down there, and I'll set the shelf, and then I'll show it to you. And I've made it up, I just need to kind of set it. So I'm gonna put that together and do that. See you in a bit. Okay, YouTube, I made my shelf that goes down there, and it's made kind of like this. This is what it looks like on the back side, and it's going to mount to the cleat on the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in, and then I'll show you the finished product. So I'm almost there. Okay, YouTube, project is finished, and looks like this. That's a Type-C charger, and my phone's plugged in, and this deal has a lip, and the phone can't come off of there. And the original plug and 12 volt thing is still there. We just have 4 12 volt outlets there and another 110 plug. So this is how it turned out. Looks pretty good to me. See you in the next video.